Greetings, Dapplings, and welcome back to Captain of Industry, where the eagle-eyed amongst you will already notice that I have already addressed some of the suggestions that were placed in the comments of the last video. Thank you so much for the suggestions, by the way. They do absolutely help me catch problems. Now, this one I'd already actually addressed off camera, as while I was recording the B-roll for the end of the video, I noticed that we didn't actually have a way for our trucks to move past, but that didn't actually make it into the B-roll that I used for the outro. I do apologize about that, but thank you nevertheless for everyone pointing out the problem. Unfortunately, you see, whilst I was focused on this, whilst I was looking over the B-roll, I completely missed the fact that there were trucks just kind of circling around here, loading up the sand over here and depositing it over there, and then picking it back up again. Thank you so much for the comments there. But as you can see, I have addressed that as well. And in fact, I did a quick sweep around the entire colony, making sure that everything is set up with the correct exporting and importing permissions. But that was kind of embarrassing, especially because I noticed that one. It's one of those cases where you become so fixated on one thing that you're completely blind to anything else. However, in today's episode, we're going to be doing something that I've been actually quite excited to do for a little while, and that is we're going to be dealing with the exhaust scrubber. Now, this is one of the last technologies that we currently have that is going to improve the efficiency of our colony, and also not just the efficiency, but also address the pollution of our colony. As you will have noticed, we do now have pollution readouts for the various production from buildings, or I guess the byproducts from most buildings, really, when you think about it. Exhaust from the smokestacks is incredibly polluting. If we use the basis of comparison of acid and sour water and such, very low amounts of pollution. Now, I don't know if it scales, so although the smokestack can process 200 exhaust in 20 seconds, it's very rare that it ever does process that kind of load of exhaust. But I don't know if that means that the air pollution goes down. I would imagine it does, but still, 1 for 1 is a pretty polluting industry. We have got many of these smokestacks set up across the island, and it will be fantastic if we can get away from that a little bit. Now, the exhaust uses 8 water, 24 exhaust, and in 10 seconds will produce 8 low pressure steam and 4 sour water. So that's enough steam to run a generator at full bore. And I've done a quick tally of the smokestacks. We actually have just at, or maybe a little bit over, I think I forgot to include this one, the amount of exhaust that we would need to be able to process in 10 seconds. So planning for the future, I think it would actually be wise for us to build 2 of these and accept that one of them isn't going to be used very often. They've got a very, very low requirement in terms of power and workforce, so I'm completely fine with that. They do produce a little bit of pollution, but it is a far cry from the pollution that it would produce if you're just pumping the exhaust straight out of a smokestack. Also, the sour water will be able to be reprocessed further into drinking water down in our waste treatment plant, and the low pressure steam can then be fed into our low pressure boilers, which will then eventually reclaim a little bit of that water as well. So it's going to be just slightly better than reclaiming half of the water that we put into this, but this is never going to be a water positive cycle. Still, for a tiny little bit of water, the massive reduction in pollution I think is going to be worth it. Now, bearing in mind that we're going to be producing sour water and also producing steam, I think it makes a lot of sense to build this building down here and then pipe the exhaust from the rest of the map over there. We can easily add more ramps if need be, but I think we're probably not too far off what we need anyway. With that said, I would actually very much like to make use of this area and tap into the water that is being provided to our boilers, but I think we're going to need to make a slight adjustment to the piping around here just to make sure that happens in a neat and tidy way. And we're all about neat and tidy in this colony. Please don't be there, truck. Oh my lord, why? Okay, we'll pop that there. No, now, look, you're making me make mistakes. Oh. Ah, yes. My bad. I completely forgot that the game does not particularly like it when people do that. So let's go ahead and just hook this up like so. And then we'll go ahead and delete this little part over here. And there we go. And then we can simply connect these up and we should be good. Or we will once it is finished being built. So let's go ahead, quick build this. We've easily got the materials that we need. Also, on the topic of having materials that we need, how is the upgrade going over here? Well, we could go for armor plates. Do we have enough iron? Not as much as I'd like, if I'm honest. So I'm tempted to avoid that one for now. We are currently researching the ship's bridge, and after that we're going to be researching the ship's engines, but I'm kind of second guessing that one. I think we're going to remove the engine from the queue, and instead we're going to be going for advanced logistics control. I think it would be really cool to showcase how you can use advanced logistics control to massively, and I really do mean massively, improve the efficiency of your logistics system. Right, okay, we need to bring this... No, okay, apparently not. Let's rotate this one around, toggle direction. There we go. I always forget that I need to toggle that direction for some reason. Can we get that to connect up? It doesn't appear so. That's a little bit of a problem. Well, easy fix. Let's just quickly delete that. That shouldn't take over long for me to get rid of, and then I can hook all of that up and we should be good. But right now we aren't actually sending any water around there. That should be fine. We've got enough storage space over here that it isn't going to be a problem for us. Though at the moment we're probably topping these off a little bit. Couldn't store any potatoes after harvest. Okay, well, I'm completely all right with having the extra rations right now, given that we are easily, although the number of months food supply we have is low, that's more storage rather than production. In fact, on that note, I guess we could as well expand that storage a little bit more, couldn't we? Sure, let's pop down a bit more just to be on the safe side. I really, really, really hate the idea of having food waste, so let's go ahead and make sure that we're taking care of this properly. So let's have that one connected there. This one can connect up here, and I am going to delete this line and have that run off the other there in that storage there. Alright, are we sorted over here? Yes, we are. It is a little bit of a potch sometimes when you have to wait for them to take care of all of that. But there we go. We've now got all of this room to play with if we need to. And I think we'll probably enjoy setting this up. Right. Ooh, not enough maintenance. That's a bit of a worry considering we're using steel now. How is our... we've got plenty. Yes, we've got loads of materials. And we are producing... Okay, last month changed, so we're producing this much more than we need. But if I'm perfectly honest, I have been worrying a little bit about maintenance for quite some time. It's not so much that I'm worried that we don't have enough, but it kind of preys on my mind a little bit here and there. And more than anything else, I worry that I won't notice a problem before it's become something that is difficult to fix. So this is a good enough time as any for me to go ahead and just expand our maintenance production. We've got more than enough people and indeed more than enough power to run a third maintenance depot, and I think that would be marvelous. Additionally, we have again more than enough materials to go ahead and build this, so I'm going to quickly fast track that just to use up that unity that we've got with me as well, rather than worry about our trucks being able to get there in a timely fashion. Additionally, let's get this set up, and once again I'm just going to fast build that. There we go. That should take care of all of the food for a very long time. It does seem that the food is only really counted when it's in these markets attached to the town. But that should start to fill up now, and with that we'll start to see our food supply actually reflect what it realistically is. The extra storage here, while it's great to have that buffer so that we don't waste potatoes in the fields, it doesn't really give us a good handle on where our current food stores really are at. Now then, on the important topic of the exhaust scrubber. This is a fairly large building, and I can't see much of a reason not to have the sour water just go straight down there underneath the already existing ramp there. Almost called it a bridge. I guess it kind of is. Let's get you in place as well. And for the sake of making it look nice, we're going to switch those around. That's going to look lovely. It does mean that the steam is coming out on opposite sides, but it's fine. Right, let's go ahead and hook this up straight away, and we'll run that all the way underneath. However, we're going to have to go out and around here. Are we ever really expecting any vehicles to put water in there? Not really. Not really. So I think we'll be fine with just allowing that to sit as is. If I bring this around, we're probably going to completely isolate this area from trucks in the future. And if I'm perfectly honest, I'm actually okay with that. I'd rather them stop going through this area. Let's go up 2 instead. Let's go all the way up if we can. Okay, we're going to have to go back a little bit. I don't think I've left myself... Oh, no, we have left ourselves enough room. Okay, well, that's perfect. And with that, we should be able to just follow down this line and hook up to the sour water, which is in this pipe right there. Okay, let's see if we can't line that up properly. There we go. And now, is that going to go around that properly? It might do. Okay, we have to wobble around that a little bit. So what we can do instead is move along this pipe. I think that would be a better move for us. So let's come along here. Are you going to play nice? Kind of. Come on. Just one. Come on now. That is kind of where I want it. Yes. There we go. Perfect. We got there in the end. And there we are. Okay, that's... I would have preferred if it hadn't done that. But you know what? It's fine. I think I can live with this one. Maybe, possibly. We're going to go ahead and upgrade this one. Once again, we're going to quick build it. Quick build this one too. And we're generally going to be building it backwards. So the lines down here, and of course, because you have to have a start point and an end point, typically it does help to have the actual exhaust scrubbers built first. But we're going to be moving backwards and starting to bring in the exhaust from here on. We could also hook up the water straight away, I suppose, and we might as well bring that water straight out from here, I guess. So, sure. Now, do I want to restrict access to this area in particular? Well, the position of this coal there is a little bit of a concern for me. I am a little bit worried about isolating that completely, but I guess we're going to be fixing that very soon with the advanced logistics. But I'm afraid that this will no longer be a normal route that our trucks can take. We're going to slowly be taking away the availability of their routes. Let's move on to the second bridge here. Now, this one's going to be fairly expensive. It will require more steel than we've currently got in storage, and a lot more iron than we've got in storage. Not the best, if I'm honest. Not the best at all. Alright, well, let's pop that back down to its regular, and I think we are going to go with the armor plating. Let's start that up. I would like, if nothing else, for our ship to take less of a beating every time we send it into a fight. How are we doing over here in terms of materials on these lines? We are not doing great. Specifically, it's the coal that is the problem, and that is something that I am hoping to address with advanced logistics control. Now, what I will be doing is having specific storage here for the coal that's being excavated to be deposited, and then trucks can come and collect it from this one storage location, but it won't be the trucks down here, so the coal should be flowing very freely. We'll have much less trucks here as a result, because the shorter the distance these trucks will ever be expected to take will allow them to do a lot more work a lot faster with fewer numbers involved as well. Okay, the next big step has been complete. Let's go ahead and set up the steam next, so that that's out of the way. Now, how are we going to hook up the steam, I wonder? I think it's probably going to be best for us to have the steam move in. Let's bring this all the way up to 3 tiles. And if we can just line it up properly, we can bring the steam out to about here and then down. There we go. That should have connected. Nope. There we go. Now all we need to do is hook the steam up from the exhaust ports over here into this line. I'm not going to be able to do that for the other turbine just yet, because that smokestack is in the way. But if we can get the majority of this set up first, and at least some of the steam going somewhere, I can start then moving through all of the boilers and sending them over here, and then we'll start the rather more complicated job of bringing down the exhaust from all the way up here. That one's going to be a bit of a mess for us, honestly. But I'll keep you around just until we've got the first smokestack piped in, but then I will do the rest of that off camera, because that is going to be a job. Right, let's go ahead and, well, we'll take this one out first. Now, we were up on level 3, so let's bring it out to about here, and then all the way up to level 3. There we go. We can bring that along. That may be slightly too tall. Actually, we will need to be that tall initially, simply because we're going to be moving over another pipe. So let's just get that lined up, and maybe we can get this over there. Ooh, almost where we want it to be. Can we get this to behave? It really doesn't want to. But I really would like it more if it would be over these tiles. There we go. Perfect. Right, with that, we can then have it lower down on this side and hopefully connect up. Can we get it to connect up over here? See, I think I may have done a silly once again. Alright. I'm going to have to get rid of that. I need to remember not to put these pipes so close together. I need the pipes to be able to connect, and they don't like to make a bridge if they're over another pipe. Or sometimes, if at all. But that should take care of it. Now, whilst I get all that done, I can go ahead and lay this pipe again. So once more, we'll just bring it out by a few, then 1, 2, up over this pipe. There we are. I'll just accept the hump there this time. It was causing me far too many shenanigans to get that done properly before. And as soon as that's away, thank you. Let's get this in position and hooked up. There we go. Perfect. Right, so that one is all set up, and now all that remains is to get rid of the smokestack here. Unfortunately, that is going to cause us some additional issues. That being said, I guess we could... Well, is there a way that I can get this out through this system without too much issue? I suppose we could just have that pipe move in this direction, because if we copy this, then there will always be that little bit of a gap there. Seems like a reasonable idea to me, honestly. So, sure, let's just bring this all the way out, all the way over here, and hook that up. There we are. And we'll have another one just like that over here. Now, we're going to upgrade to the tier 2 pipe simply because at this stage, I feel that the pipe network that we're going to be using is going to start getting a little bit overloaded with the amount of exhaust that we're going to be bringing this way. There we go. That should connect up relatively easily. Let's just make sure that it's going to get a better angle on it. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now with that, we're going to want to rotate this one around, upgrade, quick build, and toggle direction. And we're going to want to get all of this quick built, just to make sure that our generators don't shut down. That would be rather awful. And we've got more than enough unity to finish this build off. I think this one is finishing by itself, which is grand. But with that, this smokestack no longer needs to exist here. So let's go ahead and tear that down. There we are. And with that, we should start seeing exhaust moving through here. Exhaust building up down here, and it's going to build up equally in either side. That's fine for the time being. I don't really worry about that one. But that is our first couple of boilers hooked up into the exhaust system. Now, it's going to take a while before that actually kicks out any sour water or low pressure steam. But while that is happily starting to reprocess the pollutant from the boilers for our energy system, we are going to need to hook up all of the rest. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to do that off camera, so I shall meet you back here in a few moments. And there they go, our 2 exhaust scrubbers running a bit more frequently than I was initially imagining, though I think that may be down to the amount of exhaust that piled up while I was updating and laying down the piping. But as you no doubt already anticipated, we've got quite a lot of new ramps around the place to facilitate moving these pipes around. It has necessitated sealing off a few areas, which I'm not entirely happy about. We also haven't yet brought over the exhaust from over here, but that is partially because I anticipate that we're going to need a lot more water being pumped over here, frankly. We are not doing well with water for the colony. How's the water elsewhere? Not great. No, not great at all. I mean, we've got water there, but we're probably tapping into some additional pumps here and there in order to keep things going. But as long as things do keep going, I guess I don't mind too much. Right, how are things going down here with the armor upgrade? Actually, not too bad. We've gotten over the halfway mark, and we're doing reasonably well with the advanced logistics control as well. Alright, well, the next step then is to adjust this whole area to what I am imagining. Also, let's get away from this designation there. There we go, perfect. Right, now what I would like is to have probably about 4 of these water pump combos, so we're going to need to move this one down a decent way. Let's have this about there, and I'm thinking this will probably be enough for us, but since this is now going to be a critical system, I'm going to go ahead and going to update that a little bit. Now with that done, let's go ahead and remove these. We may need to shed one of the rainwater collectors, and as much as I would rather not, because I would prefer to use those over the other water that we're bringing in, it is significantly more trustworthy in terms of supply. That being said, perhaps an additional thing that we could do is to further expand this out, perhaps, and then move the rainwater collectors a little bit further down. That might actually work, and it would certainly give us a much needed area for further expansion. Now, one of the things that I wish wasn't the case, but it absolutely is that the mine control tower doesn't recognize flatten commands for dumping as excavation commands when the area is above the level you're trying to flatten to. And what I mean by that is, if we have a look here, this area, I clearly want that pulled down to be level, but it won't really recognize the difference there. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to grab the command here and just flatten that out, and we'll probably have to do that over there as well once that area has been properly flattened down a bit. But for that, we're going to need a mine control tower. So let's pop you down here. That should do quite nicely. We'll adjust the area as well to control all of this. There we go. Now the nice thing about this is any trucks filling up on the items here will also try to dump here as well, which will actually be pretty cool. But we're probably going to need a couple more excavators for that then, aren't we? Let's go for 2 excavators and 3 extra trucks. I think that should be more than enough for what we're going to be building down there. Now, how are things going with the rest of the area? I'm a little bit worried that we're getting to the end of the sand that we've got here. The copper, we're doing fine for. How about in here, though? We're starting to expand. It should be okay for the most part, though perhaps flattening this out a little bit more wouldn't be a bad idea. Something like that should do. There we go. Advanced logistics control is complete. I will excavate down a little bit more, though, over here, just to be sure that we can keep bringing in more sand. We're going to need a decent amount of that. So let's bring that down to about... Oh, I'm going to have to get rid of that, actually, so that it understands what I'm trying to do. There we go. And let's bring this down to, sure, -2 should be fine, and then we can start flattening it out at that level. So around there would do nicely. There we go. Okay, advanced logistics is up and ready to go. Right, now as far as our research is going to go, do we want to go for the ship engine? I kind of do, but additionally getting the mixer too Now moving on to glass would be fantastic because we could then start getting the much higher capacity vehicles. So let's go for Mixer 2 first. This is just going to give us a little bit of a better recipe for sand, but it will then hopefully be something that we can use to get the glass up and running a little bit faster. Now what I would like over here is coal, and I would like to keep that full. Do not export from this though. And likewise, neither export nor import from down here. Now then, let's go ahead and place down the water pumps. Actually, thinking about it, it's probably going to be the better option to get these in position first. Indeed, I should have gotten rid of this smokestack while we were at it, but that should be fine, I suppose. Right, so as far as this goes, the thermal desalinator, we're going to want, we'll give a little bit of room for the, well, actually the output, I guess, is moving straight forward, so that should be fine there, and then one there. Are we going to have enough room? Oh, we just have enough room. That was far more luck than judgment. Not going to lie there. That was a lot more luck than judgment. The liquid dump, where is the liquid pump, though? Let's have a look for you. Where have we lost that? I would have imagined it would have been down here. Oh, there we are, seawater pump. I would have imagined correctly it is. Right, let's pop that one there and there. There we go. All of these will need pipes connecting straight up. And they're going to be taking a decent amount of liquid through. So we're going to want to set that up properly. There we are. We're definitely at the go big point in industry captaining. Get that hooked up there and straight over. Oh, unfortunately, not quite enough room, it seems. Yeah, that is a bit of an issue then. Okay, well, what we can do is come from over here, I suppose, and just go all the way along to this point, and then down in this direction. There we are. That should work. And the same here on each one. Yeah, that'll actually end up looking quite nice, I think. Perfect. All right, that will take care of the coal. Now we've just got to take care of the exhaust and, of course, the brine and fresh water. At this stage, this pipe absolutely needs an upgrade, so let's make that one happen nice and quickly. And then, well, we kind of want to allow the trucks to have access to build all of this before we do the rest, so I'm going to wait on that one. But we should be able to get that up and running reasonably soon. What we will then do is, once all of that is set up, we will start expanding out the rainwater collectors. Because, again, I would actually prefer to use rainwater collectors if I could. Let's get all of these out there. At this point, I can choose what to place. And I'm going to allow them to place whatever they want on this side. I don't intend to add any farms. That said, maybe we should be using dirt primarily. Simply, yeah, I'm not going to use slag. I'm Welsh. There's too much tragedy in our history in relation to towns near places where people dump slag. So we'll just go ahead and just use soil, bedrock, rock. We're not excavating bedrock. The dirt would be ideal though, but we'll probably be just moving the rock from this mountain. That should be fine. Right, okay, let's have a quick look down here. We're going to need, well, actually all of that is set up. That's perfect. So we're just waiting on these to be finished. How are we doing for power? We're doing amazingly for power. What we aren't doing amazingly for though is sadly the queues on our vehicles, but that can absolutely be fixed with just a few little tweaks. So, right now, what are we going to be excavating from here? It's going to be stone, dirt, and coal. So we're going to need 2 storages for each one. So that's going to be for the coal, this will be for the dirt, and this one will be for the stone. Now, why are we going to be using 2 storages for these? Well, effectively, we're going to be using the mine control tower to say that all of the trucks associated with this mine control tower can only dump these resources in these silos. The problem is, when you connect a silo up in that way, it becomes exclusive to that building. So although we'll be putting stuff in there, no other trucks will be able to come and take it out because they're not assigned to the mine control tower. And that's why we've got a chain of 2. The mine control tower is going to be associated with these 3. And these will be the drop-off locations for our trucks over here. But they will spill directly into these areas. And from here, I will allow other trucks to export from. We don't want any imports though. Only exports. No exports from these. There we go. Let's just set those up. And I would like this one to be for coal, this one for dirt, and this one for rock. We shouldn't be getting bedrock. Maybe we will in the future. Hopefully not, though. We'll see. But once that's built, we should see our trucks immediately heading over there and starting to drop off the coal that they've managed to collect. This should allow the truck in there. At this point, we're not going to need nearly as many trucks. I'll probably say that we'll have 2 for each excavator, but that won't be necessary to deliver coal to the rest of the colony now. That'll be the job of the free trucks. And also, I'm thinking for a few choice locations, we'll probably have conveyors doing it as well. Namely this one. I don't like people having to come down here in order to deliver. So I'm thinking we're probably going to err on the side of caution here and say a big old nope to that. No more imports at all, please, and thank you. This one, once we've got the coal delivered directly to it, then we will also have that one set up as well. Now, as for the deliveries, how about we see if we can pop down a ramp here? We can. That's perfect, because I am going to want the conveyor not to get in the way of the other silos. So let's pop down a ramp right here. And at this point, we can go ahead and bring this out. Now, I may want to take this in more directions, but for the time being, I'm probably only going to be making use of... Oh, there we go. Of delivering it directly to our power setup. Simply because, again, I dislike things having to come back here. It's a mess. And I'd rather our vehicles not get caught up in that if we could avoid it. Let's go back a little bit more. Can we be a little bit tighter to this wall? Yes, we can. Perfect. Let's get that all delivered. There we go. Now, can we get that one built quickly? No, we cannot. We have exhausted our supply of advanced construction materials. And we've not exhausted the supply of the really advanced construction materials, which is kind of amusing. I guess well, is the problem coming direct from that, or is there a lack of regular... It might actually be a lack of regular construction materials. Okay, well, given that then, I'm going to say... Let's boost these up. Yes, I see. It's more than likely a lack of iron which is causing the problem here. Yeah, we've been pulling iron in lots of different directions for quite some time. We are so close to having armor though. Oh my lord. I am extremely eager to see that one done. Alright, but it does look like we've managed to get all of the water set up, if nothing else. So let's bring that out all the way along. Actually, we're going to need to deal with this in a bit of a different way. Brine first, then. Let's bring brine up and connect in. There we go. Brine over here. And from over here as well. There we are. We will need to upgrade this. But that should, for the sake of completeness, we'll adjust all of this as well. We are going to need to be pumping out quite a lot of brine, to be perfectly honest. These will probably back up, thinking about it. They're producing 6 per turn. That can only deal with 12, and this can only deal with 2. But it is 2 every 10 seconds, so, well, we won't be in the worst possible position, but we do need extra dumps there. How many of those can we slot in? I'm really happy with the additional footprint there. The information is fantastically useful. I think it's actually time for us to get rid of the beacon, though. It has been a long time since we've needed this. But that said, I kind of feel like it's part of our past on this island, so I'm hesitant to get rid of it completely. But we do need the space. So how about we move the beacon? Okay, we can only have one at a time. So we're going to demolish it and rebuild it. You can imagine that we're painstakingly marking every girder, every brick, so that we can move it wholesale from one place to another and perfectly recreate it. It will be the original beacon. It's just going to have been moved bit by bit, like taking apart your favorite Lego castle and moving it to another room, because frankly you can't carry that much Lego in one go. It's just impossible. If you did not have that large of a Lego castle, well, probably you had actual Lego castle. I did not. I had an assortment of Lego that probably been handed down since the beginning of Lego time. Frankly, it was all sorts of odds and sods colours. It was a Technicolor castle, but it was my castle, damn it, and I cherished it. There we go. We've got coal moving a lot faster now. Let's have a proper look at these. That is very, very nice to see. Okay, that's fantastic, though. That is terrifying to see. But hopefully this will be finished rather soon. Yes, we're almost halfway there. Once that's done, then setting up the coal supply for our power plants, that'll be sorted from that point onwards. We're not going to have to worry about it at all. Okay, this is all but gone. There we go. Ah, really? Ah, thank goodness. I was about to say, you scallywags, you did it on purpose. Right, we'll pop the beacon right behind the captain's quarters. I think that makes a lot of sense. Right, now with that done, let's get a liquid dump and see how close we can place these. Hopefully reasonably close. There's one. And we get another one in. We can. All right, not bad at all. Not bad at all. We're going to want... do we have the material? We do, but I'd rather not just yet. I've got other things that need those materials, so I'm going to wait for those to be built. But we are going to bring this pipe out along here and connect all of that up. Bearing in mind that right now these water plants aren't doing anything at all. They can't. They are completely jammed up. But on the plus side, they are now receiving a reasonable amount of brine from the other thermal desalinators, which is actually kind of cool. All right, have we got that conveyor belt? Almost. It's very nearly finished. In fact, looks like it is. Wait. No, it's 25. Sorry, it was in white, and so and I'm so used to, if that number is in white, it means that it's got what it wanted. But it does appear that it will just put that in white if it's building with it at the moment. We need an output for the exhaust. That will come, I promise, but not just yet. That's all. Right, we're going to want the water now hooked up as well. So let's get that connected. Oh, that is not quite in the right place. Oh, cannot join a ramp? Oh, of course, yes. Of course, let me get rid of that. Not the ramp that I was thinking about there. Right, let's bring this out a little bit further and then hook up. That should be sufficient. Yeah, there we go. And that was in place. Once all of that's done, then we finally bring out the exhaust. And the exhaust can probably sneak under this ramp and indeed under this one. And then... is there enough room under there? There is, actually. That is going to be a very, very congested pipeline, but sure. Let's get the brine and brine. There we go. That'll be perfect. We do need this upgraded, though, because if this doesn't get upgraded, there is no way it's going to be able to move the amount of liquids that we're going to want moved. Now, with that done, how are we doing over here? I'm going to make this a priority. We really do need that one finished sooner rather than later, though it isn't strictly stopping us from getting coal over here, and that's why I didn't turn off truck imports there, because if I had, then that would have all stopped. There is no way that that could have gone through. Now, how are we doing for coal over here? Could be better. And if we do want to hook that one up directly, then we definitely have a means to do it now, but I'm not sure that I really want to bring such a long conveyor all the way over there. I am tempted to bring the conveyor down here and hook up into this one coal storage there. Simply because that will keep our diesel on the go as well. And diesel and power are the two things that I feel you can't live without. You cannot get by if you allow either one of those to completely run down, in my opinion. Right. Well, let's set this one up first. I was about to say imports off, but no, let's just make sure that one's set to accept everything it can. Right, only 10 seconds in the queue. That's actually very nice to see. And now that we've got this going properly, the excavators are able to do a lot more work. They're able to move a lot more product, much, much more aggressively. And you are heading off somewhere. That is a very, very awkward little turn you've got going on, right? Oh my lord, that was like... Why don't you just go around? I have no idea. But okay, fair enough, I suppose. How are we doing down here? We're coming along. It shouldn't be too long there, I don't think. Now, the oil rig needs to be emptied. Do we actually need to empty it, though? I doubt we do. No, we don't. Also, how much oil is around here at this stage? We've still got 24% of the oil deposit over here as well. That's actually pretty impressive when you think about it. But our armor has been added. We've now got a combat rating of battle score of 190 and hit points 1,820 on our humble ship. So it's time for us to start poking our nose probably where it's not wanted. If we sweep down here, we can clear out both of those pirates. But I'm actually, well, you know what? Sure. Let's go ahead and do that. This is only a 70 battle score. This is a 100. 70 and probably 100 over there as well. No, another 70. Okay. Well, either way, let's get out there to battle. We've armored you up, so you should be able to take on a couple of fights at once, I would imagine, but we'll have to see. We're down to 44 workers available. That is actually kind of a surprise. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit shocked that we've managed to get rid of the 100-odd workers that we had surplus, but all right. We could place this down, except for that tiny little bump there. So what I'm going to do for the second is I'm going to turn off all of that. I would like this excavator just to get rid of that so I can start building up the town a little bit more. We'll see how that goes once that's done. It shouldn't take long at all. Alright, have we got the conveyor? Ah, finally, we do. That's marvellous. So coal is now going to have a big priority on this conveyor line. Actually, if I were to upgrade this, we have enough. Sure, let's make that happen. This will bring a goodly amount of coal down here, nice and fast. There we are, perfect. That will take care of the power plant. We're not going to have to worry about that again. In fact, at this point, I can quite happily turn off imports as well. It'll get coal as a priority from our coal drop-off. What we can do then is we can, yeah, I guess, go ahead and bring the coal down here as well. Let's turn off imports there. We'll allow that one to stay. I think it is going to be wiser for us to have all of this set up. And I am absolutely going to make this a level 2 conveyor for the sole reason that we've got more of those construction materials. That feels really wrong. That feels actually quite silly. That I'm willing to use extremely expensive to make construction materials and an awful lot of rubber to do that, just because it will be mildly more convenient for me in the here and now. But oh well, here we are doing it. There we go. So that'll now be split evenly between the two locations, but that is taking care of all of the coal. Well, not all of the coal on this side. We're still bringing coal down over here manually, but that should be fine. Right, the final part then is to get up the exhaust. Now, how are we going to get through here? I feel that we're probably going to be in a fight before I can do that. Very well. Let's see how it goes. We've got significantly more DPS, a better range, and ridiculous amounts of armor. The armor does seem to just give flat HP, though, rather than any kind of damage mitigation, at least as far as I can see. We've liberated some people, some rubber and some copper. Marvellous. We can probably go straight on and take care of this enemy as well, and then swing back for some repairs. And I think that might be a good use of our time, actually. But before we do anything else, let's go ahead and reinstate the flattening order over here. There we go. And we can get rid of all of these tiles, as I know that they don't need any kind of flattening happening. Right, there we are. With that, let's get down some more housing. Perfect. And eventually, well, if we take our housing out this far, I'm happy then to start expanding up in this direction, because I don't feel it's going to interrupt our supply and production of crafting materials here, though maybe we're going to want to move that elsewhere. This town may need to grow quite substantially. We'll see how that goes for now, though. Let's also check in here. I'm not got a pop boost? No, we don't. We're producing way too much Unity. I should have been on fuel saver this whole time. I do apologize about that, though. To be perfectly honest, we're producing enough diesel that it isn't actually an issue. That is a wonderful position to be in, but also a terrible one. It's wonderful because we are in a period of plenty, and thus I know that the needs of our people are being well taken care of. We have so much that we don't need to worry where the next supply of diesel is coming from. However, that does give rise, oh my lord, another oil rig. That does give rise to rather wasteful behavior, and so that is the downside of that. We have got so much that we are at risk of being wasteful just because we can, which is never a good place to be. So hopefully we can address that moving forward and keep an eye on materials. Just because we have it to waste does not mean that we should waste it. Right, let's go ahead and bring out the pipes down here. For the time being, I'm going to draw this pipeline from this direction, simply so that I can get it built. Can this one connect up? It can. Straight down there. Oh, that's fantastic. Absolutely wonderful, in fact. There we go. Let's make that happen. At this point, I'm assuming that they're going to understand the direction I want them to go in. Population increase, new refugees. Sadly, we hadn't built our homes yet. And we're not going to have that done yet. Maybe I should have let the ship out at sea for a little while so that we didn't have this problem, but I don't know that... they're going to be homeless one place or another, really. It feels like if being here were worse than on the ship, then they could just go and stay on the ship until the houses are ready for them. I don't know. Actually, let's bring this back a little bit. I would really like to go under here on this side. There we go. And that is so that we can do this. Now, am I going to be able to get around here in any way that is going to resemble something sensible? That is a question, isn't it? Okay, I think I know what we're going to do. Let's just get through here. This pipe is taking exhaust up from the boiler down here, so let's not cross over in that direction. Let's instead just hook up with this pipe. Ah, glorious pipe spaghetti. I know many of you have been waiting eagerly to see this pipe spaghetti. Transport to selected position was not found. There we go. It just needed me to be a little bit more insistent, it seems. But there we go. Glorious pipe spaghetti is indeed glorious. But I'm afraid that is going to be it for today's episode. We are all out of time. And although we are leaving the episode with a few projects outstanding, I do feel that we've covered a lot of ground. We've made quite a lot of progress, and very important progress to boot. We've managed to, at this point, tie in all of the exhaust fumes that the entire colony is producing, and we are doing something to clean that up before we pump it into the atmosphere. It's not a perfect process. There's still a little bit of pollution, but it is dramatically lower than it was before. Not only that, but we're also getting a little bit of extra power out of it. We are spending a little bit of water, but it's water that we probably have to spare thanks to our water treatment plant. We have also dramatically increased the input of ocean water, though that project still has a few pipes left to lay. But once that's up and running fully, then I imagine our slowly growing population will not have any more water woes for the foreseeable foreseeable future. That also has, on the topic of the population, we've also greatly expanded our food storage, which hasn't really done much for stopping us from wasting food. Unfortunately, that is just the way it's going to go. We are growing much more food than we are currently consuming. Whether that is going to continue to be the case once the population starts to fill out the new housing, that remains to be seen. Finally, of course, we have taken the first faltering steps towards improving the logistics of our mining areas, and indeed the general logistics across the entire colony, though with a real focus to making better use of the trucks that we have in the coal mine specifically. We are now able to move the coal out of the coal mine much faster. In fact, we've automated that in a couple of spots as well. So all things said and done, I'm actually really happy with where today's episode is leaving off, and I hope you are as well. As always, I look forward to any comments you may have to leave for me down below, and indeed, if you enjoyed what you saw and you want to see more, do consider leaving a like as well. But until next time, and as always, do take care, everyone.